just for everybody to know, I want you to tell everybody, I want you to give us a lowdown how you start off your day. You're snoring, you're sleeping, you get up. What do you do?
Okay, so it's a lot, but since you asked, so in my bed I got a couple of sleep hacks that I use. This is a Sleep 8 mattress. Basically, what it does is it runs cool water underneath my body at night, so it keeps my body cool. Beneath that is something called a pulse electromagnetic field. It's a PEMF mat. So that PEMF mat is actually underneath it here, and it will blast pulse electromagnetic field. It will blast electromagnetic, a low Gauss current through my body. So this keeps the body alkaline. It actually separates all my red blood cells, pulls me into a deep sleep. This keeps me cool while I'm sleeping at night.
And when the body is kept alkaline, what does that mean?
Alkaline state is a disease-free state. So the pH range of the body is actually very narrow. It's only about a half a point, but the more acidic you get, the sicker you become, the more alkaline you get, the better you feel. And so it's a very narrow range. So one of the ways to keep that range is to use pulse electromagnetic field. PEMF also blows out all the EMF frequency in your body. It actually repolarizes the surface of your cells so they can eliminate waste, and they can repair, and they can detoxify, they can regenerate. So you might as well do that while you're sleeping. So my sleep environment is really important to me. Behind you is an air filter. We call this surgically clean air. It filters my air down to 0.1 micron. Now, that's less than the size of a virus. When I leave the house, I run an ozone setting. It kills mold spores and mycotoxins. So there's no dust, no pollen, no viruses in the air. I keep the bed nice and cool. I use a PEMF mat to get me into sleep. I know it sounds like a lot, but sleep is so important.
Well, I'm going to say this. You sound like you're getting perfect sleep. Obviously, it's a perfect environment in which to sleep. You would think that's all you would need to have a beautiful day. But that's not where you stop. That's just the beginning. So let's walk around and please feel free to show us what are the steps you take to make sure that you'll have a fruitful day, a beautiful day. Because I want to see this for myself.
So I get into my bathroom, and what I do is I splash a little water on my face. I mean, you want to know my exact routine? I'll tell you like that. I'm asking. So I come in here and splash a little water on my face. I brush and floss my teeth. And then this is just a spare cold plunge. I just like to keep one closed, but this is not the one I use in the morning. Splash cold water on my face. I brush my teeth, and then I come in here and I get in. I go straight into a cold bath. And this is the hardest thing to do in the morning because
Cold bath. Like cold plunge.
Cold plunge, baby.
The one that Steve Harvey and Dana White and everybody's been talking about. The one you subjected me to.
This will become your drug of choice. I'm telling you, it will become your drug of choice. It's 3 minutes minimum, 6 minutes maximum. That's it. There's no evidence that I've seen that longer is better or colder is better. I keep this at 48 to 50 degrees. So I come in here, I got a pair of shorts on, I'll just splash water on my face, I'll brush my teeth, and then I immediately take 3 deep breaths. And then when I hold that breath, I get all the way out before. And you know the cold plunge, man.
Yeah.
It's like, how long does it take you to get enough?
But I don't know. It takes me seconds, to be quite honest with you. It feels that way anyway. I know when I use it, it's hell. It's never easy. Yeah. But the benefits are worth it. I know that I never have felt more alive. What else should you do from here?
Okay, so then...
Okay. So now we're in your fitness.
Next, now we're in, I call it the pain palace.
Okay.
So I get up on this treadmill. This is an EMF-free treadmill, so it's just self-powered. So you power this thing yourself. So you can walk on it. You can run on it. The NFL calls these the shredmill because the running backs can't outrun this because it doesn't have a top speed. So you put this mask on. And basically what this is doing... You hear that?
Yeah.
Okay. That's actually, it's taking 21% oxygen from the air. The ambient air that we're breathing is 21% O2. This air is 93 to 95% oxygen. So I put this mask on. I'm connected to this bag, and I breathe down 900 liters of oxygen in the morning.
And that does what for you?
So this is called EWOT, exercise with oxygen therapy for multi-step oxygen therapy. There's a Nobel laureate prize winner in medicine, Otto Warburg and Dr. Van Art, who actually did a lot of work on multi-step oxygen therapy. And multi-step oxygen therapy is increasing your heart rate just a little bit and using high amounts of oxygen to perfuse your tissues. The presence of oxygen is the absence of disease. So if you're not going to, if you could do one of these, great. If not, you've got to learn to do breath work, and you got to blow out all that other gas out of your body by doing deep breaths. If you're not going to do that, which is, you can use what I do. You do this hypermedics oxygen. You breathe in 93 to 95% oxygen, 10 to 12 minutes, flood the blood with oxygen. Dude, you feel amazing. You feel like you won the lottery off of this.
That combined with that, your body being alkaline.
Yes. Your body, dude, you just woke up from a deep sleep. You slept cool. You had your eye mask on. You had your PMF mat keeping you alkaline. You woke up, you splashed water in your face, brush your teeth, you hit the cold plunge. When you get out of there, you're switched on. Then you come in here and you warm your body back up, 10 to 12 minutes of hypermax oxygen. And then I got one more style for you.
Let's go. Show me that one more style.
Okay. And I'm going to show you the red light therapy bed. Now, this is amazing. This is arguably my favorite anti-aging longevity device. This is the most powerful red light bed on the market. There are 45,000 light diodes in here. So some of this red light is visible. Some of it is invisible. Those are infrared or near infrared wavelengths. So red light therapy is amazing. It's the rage in sports recovery. It's the rage in anti-aging. It's great for your skin. It reduces inflammation. It dilates the microcapillaries in like your eyes and your organs, your spine. So when you lay in this thing, basically what you're doing is you're in here for about 15 to 20 minutes. It's reducing inflammation. What it's doing, Steve, is it's kicking out a gas inside your cell called nitric oxide and forcing oxygen into the cell.
Right.
You just flooded the blood with all that oxygen. Now you come in here and you drive it right.
Well, what about the person that asked, why would this be leading when you just got out of bed, you were laying on a PMF mat? You got your system alkaline. You went on a hypermax machine and you breathe all of that oxygen into your body.
Yeah.
If you got all of that going on, why would you still need this?
To reduce inflammation, to increase collagen, elastin, and fibrin in your skin, to dilate those microcapillaries. And there's a nanometer wavelength in here that goes through the cell wall, through the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell, and it kicks the gas out of nitric oxide and forces oxygen in. Remember I said the presence of oxygen is the absence of disease? Well, if I was to boil cellular biology down for you to one sentence, it would be this. When oxygen enters the mitochondria, enters this motor inside the mitochondria, you get a 16-fold step up in energy. Cellular repair, waste elimination, detoxification, regeneration. There are lots of clinics that have these. If you don't want to spring to buy one of these beds or even red light panels, which are available, you can get them on Amazon. Sure. If you don't want to get one of those red light panels, just Google around and find a clinic near you that allows a membership or something, a pay per service, and use this a few times a week. Right. See how you feel, dude. It's a game changer.
One more thing you want to show us?
Now, this is what I use on occasion. I don't use this every day. This is a full system reset, right? Because this is called a Vemi acoustic bed. Okay. This is a vibroacoustic bed. They say that only the most enlightened monks can actually really get into a true theta state, a state where you're devoid of all thought. Right. So even the thought about whether or not you're having a thought is a thought.
That's true, though. It's true. It's true. It's absolutely true.
I'm not going to see you doing guided meditation or anything.
I can't imagine.
Have you ever tried?
I've never tried. Okay. I've never tried it, but I will. Because I've heard a lot of great things about it.
It's amazing, but I've tried to do it, and I forget with these guided meditation. They're like, there's a tunnel, and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and then my ADHD kicks in, and I'm like, well, if there's a light at the end of the tunnel, something's going on down there. Why don't we get down there? Right. What are we doing down on this end? Right. And I just can't shut my mind up. So what this does, it turns on an acoustic wave. You'll hear it. It's going to turn on a sound wave. It's going to match that to a light wave, infrared, near infrared, far infrared, light waves. And it's going to sync that with a pulse electromagnetic field wave, a magnetic wave. So I got sound, light, and magnetism. When they harmonize, every cellular structure in the body responds. And then you put these theta wave headphones on, and it runs a theta frequency into the brain. And it does what? There is no sensation of the passage of time. So you get on here, about 10 to 12 minutes into this treatment, you're out, And I've been on here after a show for 90 minutes, and I thought 5 minutes had gone by. But in fact, I got on here before a podcast the other day, and my production manager came in and woke me up 90 minutes later. It was like, hey, we got to shoot.
So it helps you sleep. But what else does it?
Resets your brain. It allows your brain to really calm down. Puts you in a theta state, very low brainwave activity state. Think about the last time that you actually didn't have a thought in your head.
But what does that do for you? If it gives basically it's giving your brain a rest.
Bring your brain.
Okay, so if your brain gets a rest, once it gets that rest, what happens to you after that?
When you come out of that state, so when you get off of here, I feel a little bit groggy for about five or 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden you feel like you took a limitless pill. It's like you're clear, you're clean, you're cognizant, you're awake, you're focused. It's just a feeling of clarity and zen it's hard to describe. If you talk to somebody who's really mastered the art of meditation, they'll tell you the same thing. I come out of the meditative state, and I can problem solve. My stress is gone. It seems like the problems of the world have melted away. You're back focused on my purpose. My problems have shrunk. It's meditation, if you can harness it, is a longevity and brain life hack.
And that is how you start your day. We got a lot to talk about.
Welcome back to Stephen A. Smith Show right here over the digital airwaves of YouTube and beyond, of course. Just saw some video of this man doing his morning routine, the PMF mat, red therapy, red cell therapy.
Red light therapy.
Red light therapy, had that going on. The cold plunge, which don't get me started.
Which we are getting after this
please
podcast.
Don't do this to me.
We're going to do it.
Don't tell the audience that. Please don't tell the audience that. I'm trying to get out of that right now.
Dude, we're doing it.
There's so much stuff that you've done, but not just the critics, but the average viewer would say, I don't have access to all of that. Mm-hmm. I can't do that. Stephen A's on television every day. He's got an advantage. This guy is Gary Brecka. He's a superstar in this business now. Made gobs and gobs of money because 10X Health is so successful. The Ultimate Human is so successful. They're living in a different world. Mm-hmm. To that you say what?
To that I say that all that stuff that you just saw out there is all it's doing is mimicking what we get from Mother Nature. We get three things from Mother Nature. We get magnetism from the earth, we get oxygen from the air, and we get light from the sun. So the truth is, if you want to know how to do it for zero, you got to get back in contact with the surface of the earth. I know it sounds crazy, but there is something called earthing or grounding. It is very real. Taking your shoes off and touching the surface of the earth, you discharge into the earth. You can actually repolarize the body by touching the surface of the earth. So take your shoes off. Think about it. If you're listening to this podcast right now, think about the last time that you had bare feet touching bare soil. I mean, dirt, grass, sand. That was the last time you discharged into the earth. Then you can actually learn to do breath work. Very simple. I read a statistic. I don't know if it's true. I didn't look up the study. I got a lot of trouble for repeating it online, but it said, there was an article that said that after the age of 30, 95% of all human beings will never sprint again for the rest of their life. Mm. It made a lot of sense to me because, when I started looking at the environment and the world around me, even the athletes that people that go into the gym every day, nobody is sprinting, right? So we're not using our auxiliary muscles of respiration, our intercostals, those muscles that really help us breathe. And basically, our life expectancy is directly related to our oxygen level. We used to call it a hypoxic curve. We would use this curve to predict the onset of and the severity of and how quickly people would succumb to disease. We all actually die of the same thing. We die of hypoxia, lack of oxygen to the brain. That's the definition of death. Now, it might be a heart attack, a gunshot, a stroke, a bus. But the point is that we are not getting enough oxygen into our bodies. We don't even use our auxiliary muscles of respiration anymore.
But you're telling folks what to do, and they shouldn't deny it because clearly you know what you're talking about. But they'll look at you and they'll say, you're not doing it. Because of all the things that they just saw you do, the machines that you have, the equipment that you have. But I'm just telling you. They're saying, Gary, you're telling us to do that, but are you doing it?
Yes, when I'm on the road, I am absolutely doing that.
Right.
If you have the fortune to be able to mimic Mother Nature by buying some of this equipment and putting it in your house for convenience, then by all means do it. And please
I've done it.
Stop badgering and attacking the people that do.
Right.
But if you don't, you can get all of those things that I just went through on that in that little talk. You can take your shoes off and touch the surface of the earth. That is like using a PMF mat. You can learn to do breath work. That is like that hypermax oxygen system. You can, instead of getting into a cold plunge, you can take a cold shower. Everybody's going to take a shower. If you live in the Midwest or the Northeast, you got the advantage of having really cold water.
What's more advantageous, the cold plunge or the shower? Because I remember you one time alluding to the cold plunge being about 29% better than the shower, but...
Yeah, so water is 29 times more thermogenic than air, which means it removes heat from the body at 29 times the rate of air. Okay, so when you get in a cold plunge, heat is leaving your body at 29 times the rate of air at the same temperature. That's why you can die of hypothermia in 72-degree water. You can't die of hypothermia in 72-degree air, right? So, but if again, maybe the cold plunge is the best, but it's good to take a cold shower. I'm telling you, aging is the aggressive pursuit of comfort. The more aggressively we pursue comfort, the faster we age. So what if you woke up in the morning, took your shoes off, touched the surface of the earth, actually took your shirt off and exposed your skin to sunlight during the first 45 minutes of the day? It's called first light. No UVA, no UVB rays, no damaging rays. Healthy blue light resets your cortisol, resets your melatonin receptors, does more to turn your circadian rhythm back on and put you into a deep sleep that night than any drug that you could take. Touch the surface of the earth, you do some breath work in the morning, you expose your skin to sunlight, and you take a cold shower. Run that for a week. Run those 4 things for 0 for 1 week. Take a 1 to 3 minute cold shower. Take 3 rounds of 5 obnoxiously deep breaths, and in between each round of breaths, hold your breath as long as you can. Why? Because you want to drive up the carbon dioxide level and dilate the vessels in your body. Carbon dioxide is the main vasodilator in the human body. So we can access these things. The question is, will people do them? Right? So the excuse of seeing somebody with a $100,000 light bed is, I can't do that. Yes, you can. You can take your shirt off and you can expose it to sunlight. So wake up tomorrow, touch the surface of the earth, do a few rounds of breath work, expose your skin to sunlight, take a cold shower.
You know, but here's the flip side. See, because I thought you liked me. I really did. until you insisted that I get that damn cold plunge. And
that was one of the funniest moments.
It's
a phone call I got from you.
I still haven't recovered from you exposing me to that damn cold plunge.
Steve Harvey's the one that gave you all the shit about it.
So go ahead, give my audience the whole lowdown for the cold plunge Stephen A. Smith experience that you subjected me to, by the way. I mean, talk about that.
First of all, he literally tried to convince me that black people do not get in a cold plunge. He literally pulled a race card on me, dude. I
did. I tried.
I said, well, Steve Harvey, that's true.
That's right. Exactly, right?
One of the black guys off camera was like, he's actually right about that.
It's true.
He's like, first of all, black people don't get a cold plunge. And I was like, all right, Steven.
And then you told me to call Steve Harvey.
I told you to call Steve Harvey, and he gave you a whole line. He gave you a whole ration. But he was, to your defense, you got the cold plunge, and the very first day, you got in it for the very first time for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember that. And you were like, exactly how cold does this have to be a cold plunge, Gary?
Right. And you said 58 degrees.
I said 58 degrees. Yeah. That's where you start cold plunging. Now, 48 to 50 is better, but I said 58 degrees, and to your credit, you got in for 6 minutes at 58 degrees.
Right.
And then it became your drug of choice. I told you that would happen because you get that peripheral vasoconstriction, you drive that blood into your core, it goes up to your brain, your liver, your lungs, your pancreas, your kidneys. You get a rush of dopamine that lasts hours, not minutes. You get an elevation in dopamine in those.
And dopamine does what for you?
Dopamine is the main driver of behavior. Dopamine is one of those neurotransmitters that elevates your mood. The endorphins that you get from the runner's high or the exercise high, it's one of those neurotransmitters that drives mood. It just elevates your mood. And then you activate something called brown fat in the human body. You turn a thermostat on, right? You exchange calories for heat by activating brown fat. Because once you cool the body off, there's a cost to return to normal body temperature, and that cost is calories. So you feel so awake, so clean. There's also a special type of protein in your liver called a cold shock protein. There's also heat shock proteins. And I've been down the rabbit hole of these cold shock proteins lately. There's one called Lin 28A and Lin 28B. And they're highly associated with an improvement in insulin sensitivity. So now the cold plunge is being linked to things like improving your insulin sensitivity, reducing body fat. And yes, if you activate brown fat and increase your metabolism and improve your caloric expenditure, you actually should be burning more fat. An elevation in mood, an elevation in emotional state, a prolonged elevation of dopamine. And you can access this for free. The reason why people don't want to do it is they don't want to leave their comfort zone. Tomorrow morning, just try it. Just take, lather up, do your soap, take your shower, turn the shower as cold as it will get, step out of that stream, let it get nice and cold, take a deep breath, step into that water stream and just deal with it. Just deal with it for 60 seconds. You'll get through it. And if you can, push that to 3 minutes. Dry off and see how you feel. The whites of your eyes will be crystal clear. You will be wide awake and cognizant and clear. You'll have that elevated endorphin rush, and you'll feel that way for hours.